Previously on Stories and Conversations with Rahel.
My name is Nancy Nyaga, 40 years old now.
Oh.
Feeling good at 40.
Yeah.
A mother of one and a wife.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm a cousin, I'm a friend. Professionally, I'm a HR.
Yeah.
And being a HR, HRs are always expected to be strong. You're one person who is not really an employee and you're not an employer, so you're there in between. So somehow my dad went out of his marriage with several other female ladies, friends and all that, whom brought about a lot of battles in the family. A lot of fights, not physical fights, but very emotional fights.
Yeah.
So again, it delayed me in getting married because I was looking at every man and wondering, will this be like dad?
I see.
So everyone whoever man I met would do something and I would like dad.
You of your dad. Yeah.
I cut off, I don't care.
Welcome to part 2 of the conversation with Nancy. And in part 1, she shared how her story began. And in part 2, she will be sharing more about her story and how her story became into this big vision.
Now, after all that journey, after the visiting my two parents, I got peace and I got joy of life. I got confidence to tell someone no. I never used to say no. I got the confidence of saying, this is what I feel. What you feel is different and it's okay to disagree. I always used to agree because I want to understand people.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect people to understand me. So going through that, I was done with that. And at that point, I started thinking, what is it that people of young age are going through, what I went through, and it would be too late now to realize what they are going through. Would they get a therapy to go through such that it doesn't take them too long to heal from what they are going through? I was imagining if I got some help when I was young, I would be too far in life.
I see.
And so I was like, I need to be there for people. I need to help young girls and boys to know how to go about life issues, family issues, or their personal issues, so that they can get peace and joy in life. Because if we live in life when you don't have peace, you don't have any joy, then if death comes now, I'm okay. If I put myself into risk, I don't care. After all, the life doesn't mean much. So that's how I thought of, and again, now in my life process, again, there was whoever who believes in Christianity, whoever who believes in God will understand what I'm about to say is that I got a vision. I got a vision and I got a vision of helping people to get out of their inner matters that are hurting.
So let me ask, what's the span between you finding your healing and when you're getting the vision? What was the span? Span of time? It was
almost maybe an year or so. Yes, about an year. But the problem is I used to avoid to think about how I can. So because you see now I've gone through a healing of being independent, a healing of not always understanding every other situation. And then here I am, I'm also feeling that I need to get into people's spaces and help them heal. Again, I felt, won't it be a very big burden again to me?
Yeah.
But again, I was still feeling there's a calling. And remember, I'm still doing HR. And I'm here getting into the shoes of staff and understanding them better. And also understanding the employer. So this thing is in me. I can't avoid it.
Yeah.
But I needed to what I needed to do is to have my own circle and take care of my own life, separate from that calling. Because I needed to separate that. Because again, with the calling, sometimes you can end up being abused. your calling can be abused. People can overuse you or just misuse you, waste you just because you have a calling. I needed to separate the two so that I know whom I am, how to take care of me, and then so that I can be the best example for the people I'm going to sort out. Yeah. So that was like a year. My son was very little that time. And I remember it used to flow. A vision used to flow in me. And it all came about that I needed to sort people inner matters. Inner matters. And for me, inner matters were those things that are deep down in your heart that you cry about, but you don't know what to do about them. You don't know how to go about breaking them into pieces and knowing how to sort each issue. And then from there, knowing how to forgive yourself where you went wrong, knowing how to forgive other people, and moving on with life, but a happy life, a different life from where you've been. So that vision was very vivid. And for 2 years, that vision kept on coming back, that I needed to be there to fulfill my calling, because at the end of it all, it became, this is my calling. I can't wash myself away from it.
You can't avoid it.
I will not avoid it. And the moment I keep avoiding it, it becomes a burden every other. Yes, every other time it's a burden. And so that is why I'm wearing what I'm wearing. This is figure. And figure means fulfilling inner garment assignment.
Wow.
My assignment in life is to fulfill the inner garment of people, and it is both boys and girls, both men and women. I need to fulfill their inner garment assignment, which is helping them heal. Walking with them the journey of, first of all, identifying what challenges you've been going through, breaking it into where did you participate, where did someone else participate, forgiving them. Grieve. You grieve as much as you can. Grieve. Pour yourself out. That is why I went to pour myself to my daddy. And my dad cried. I cried at the same time. We broke down the process of forgiving. And even when someone has lost the people who used to mess them up, or the person who brought them to where they are, you go and just, you direct a conversation to, if it's where someone is buried, unfortunately, just go speak to them there. Tell them, you know what, you went when I was in a grudge with you, but I forgive you. Because, forgiveness, when you forgive someone, you're doing it for yourself, first of all. Before you do it for them, you're doing it for yourself. You're seeking for your own peace.
Wow.
So with that is how this came about, the figure. And so how I do figure is that I needed to fulfill my calling, my assignment, and it has to be inner garment. I want to heal that inner garment. You see, like the outer garment, the way we wear the outer garment, you make sure that it fits you well. You make sure you are comfortable with it. It is fit for every occasion that you're having. And so the inner garments need to be good enough for any version of life that you're going to live. Whatever life you're going to live, your inner garment needs to be healed. Because that is when it's going either to absorb all the evilness, all the bad things that are coming for people, or that is how it's going to absorb joy. So your inner garment is a foundation that will build the rest of your life, and it needs to be very strong. And you need to have that joy from inside, because getting joy from outside, people give joy sometimes out of selfishness because they want to get something from you.
Wow. I feel like this is a Sunday sermon. Like, if I was not to go to church, like, this will be my Sunday sermon. And this is so profound. And as I said, I'm feeling it so deep inside. So you're using your voice to make other people heal.
Sure.
And to figure out their assignment.
Yes.
Because and I know we've said this before, and it's normal, it's a cliche, and people say it's a cliche. Out of your pain, there's purpose. But that's the truth.
Yes, that's the truth.
Because whatever you went through, that is what you're doing for other people.
Yes.
You're being selfless and, removing yourself from the equation and, doing this for other people. And maybe that's why you're a HR.
Maybe,
Yes, because you're doing it for other people. Because not everyone can do this. everyone wants to have, to live their life, to figure out their own things, to be successful and all that.
Yeah.
But for you, you have decided that there's this one major assignment that I'll do for both genders.
Yes.
And make that inner person heal
Yeah.
and figure out the assignment.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. This is deep. So let me ask, Nancy, as you're going about this, and maybe you can tell us, before I even ask this next question, how do you do this? Do you do this through sessions where people connect with Figure Solutions? Is there an online platform? Or how do people connect? Do they come to you directly because they know you do it? Or how do you connect with people? How do people know that this exists?
Okay, so I don't have a platform right now.
Yeah.
Just because I'm a bit slow into going into public.
Okay.
I'm very slow in that, which I think finally I get there. But I always get in my circles. I will identify someone who is having an issue. When it gets to my employment, when I'm dealing with staff, funny enough or weird enough, I get to gel with staff and I'm able to get into their inner space. You'll get someone is breaking and someone is pouring all that they've gone through. And I always tell people, this is not HR who is talking. Sawa, this is not your HR. This is a big sister. I even say I'm a big sister to older people, but I tell them, this is a big sister who is talking. How are you going about this?
Yeah.
Why are you not sorting this? So let me advise you how we are going to fix this, making sure the employment is okay and making sure you're okay. So I want to give you some time to go sort out these issues. I want to give you some off. I want to give you some leave. Go sort out this first. And in case you're not finished, don't come back to work. I'll protect you.
Oh, wow.
So I have now, that is, in that environment, in my employment is where I get sometimes moments to go through that. In my small circles, again, I'm not a person of many people, many friends and all that. But actually, I have a group that we call therapy group, where few ladies that I worked with, actually I recruited them in different employments. Finally, we've come together and I took them through therapy. People healed from things they had gone through. You get someone had gotten raped by a very close friend to the dad. They have never talked about it. They went to talk it after the therapy.
Wow.
You get things have happened to people and people have been having those things in them. So besides now in those small circles, opportunities that arise out of my usual kind of working, I am also doing this with schools. So far I've done it with 2 schools, high schools that are in rural areas, that are not well-standing schools, where it's a day school, boys and girls mixed.
Yeah.
I go give a talk. We talk about what are the general issues, and I don't concentrate with school issues. I'm not on that. I'm not in the side. I'm not an education officer, so I speak to the principal and tell them what I want to do with the schools. And during that time, when I was going through the vision of the fulfilling this inner garment, again I was like, God. That was during COVID. I was like, God, I don't have a job right now. And how am I going to get finances even to run this? In that time, again, those who know what is a vision, it was very clear that, you know what, you will have money from inner garments to provide inner garment solutions. So then at that time, a vision came in my mind of, I need to have a business that will be selling inner garments. Inner outer garments now.
Oh, wow.
Inner outer garments.
Oh, wow.
The inner outer garments now, that is like selling anything to do like sanitary towels, diapers for children and for the adults, something like, the panties,
The innerwears,
boxers and all that. And I thought, you know what, I will sell that. The monies I get out of it, half of it will go back to business. There's a portion of it will go to taking care of myself. There's a portion of it that must go to the inner garment assignment. So I am not yet there. However, I save every single month. You know the way you get your tithe? I save every single month. I put together. Every quarter, I try to make sure I go and give sanitary towels. I go to a school, I give sanitary towels, I give panties, and I give boxers to boys. and then we have a conversation. Then I try to get a male or a female person whom I can go with, and mostly a man who can go talk to the boys separately. But after talking to all of them, to go talk to the boys separately, and then I ask them to list down what are those heavy issues they feel they can't talk in front of everyone, and they give me the contacts that I can reach them and their names, so that I provide now another day to go there and say, I tell the principal, I have a meeting with ABCD people, and I sit with them and talk to them one-on-one.
Wow. As in, your story is so deep, and I know we can talk forever, but I'm really glad that you're sharing this. So, I mean, just get into at least cut this conversation, because I know we can have it for a long time.
Yeah.
But talking about the challenges, because obviously the challenges will be the burden with all the stories that you hear, and also the resources, which maybe will be the finances and all that. Is there any other challenge that you're facing or you face that, you're still trying to figure out, especially with now using your voice and living in your purpose and doing all these things that you're doing?
Yeah, maybe the only major challenge that I get is that my work. I have to put enough hours for my work, and I'm usually very busy. And so sometimes to get time to visit like those schools, and I have very limited time. It being still, it's only weekends that I'm available for myself, for my family, and for my other issues. And so I find that I don't have enough time. And there's a time I got to a point where I was like, if I can get a flexi kind of a job, then I will also concentrate more on the figure thing.
Yeah.
But at the end of it all, no matter how old I will be, I will do figure. And figure will have to be there.
Wow.
Somehow it will have to be there.
Wow.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, if you have this feeling about time and wanting flexibility, it will come.
It will.
Because that's my story, right? Like, I've been wanting to do all these things, and I help social enterprises, and I do all these things that I'm doing, even whatever I'm doing right now. And there was a time I didn't have time. But then with time, like, that time became available. So, I mean, it happens. It might take a bit of time, but it will happen. It will happen because every assignment, that especially when God gives you an assignment, He will create that path for you. So what I will tell you is, you just need to keep on going, and you never know the fruits that you will pick on the way and the people that will come and join you in this journey, because this is such a heavy thing.
It is.
Because carrying people's burdens, trying to figure it out, I actually feel like you're like a fixer. I will call you a fixer. You're like an Olivia Pope, like a fixer,
Kinda. Do you know, there's something that I've realized I've been moving jobs, not really so fast, but I've realized in my, in 5 employers or 4 employers, I'm always the first person in that company to start off a HR department. And I was like, why is this what character is this? Why do I have to be the first person to? Right now I'm working for a company where we are 60 years next year, but they've never had a HR person, and I'm the first HR person. Several other companies, or even those that have had HR, I find that they are starting a new line of HR, and I'm the first one there. So I have to develop everything from
scratch.
When I try to connect, I'm like, why do I come to be the one who is building a ground for? It is heavy to build a ground for something, because much of the time you are always there trying to fix things before you get to the strategy point where you're supposed to be delivering a strategy. You're first on the operational ground, trying to fix things. Like now when you say I'm a fixer, actually, that's character that I'm getting now.
You are. And maybe this is the revelation that you needed. So I have been used by...
Yes,
you never know.
Yes,
yeah.
Sure.
So as we close this conversation, Nancy, where can people find you? And I mean, if people want to be part of this cause, and if people want to help you run this solution that you have, and to carry this vision, because in the world we are called to be either vision bearers or vision carriers. So if someone wants to help you carry this vision, how can they get in touch with you?
Actually, I will really appreciate it, because I don't know how to go out there and look for people who can help me. I always depend on what I have. But I've really been thinking, if I could get people who could support me in delivering this, it would be big. It is going to reach out people, and it's going to have impact in me and those also who are helping. So I can only give my contacts. Yes, and that's how they can reach me. Actually, I'm thinking currently of having this innerwears under this name. Because when I give out, I want to give it under this name. And then again, it's going to have a commercial impact because I will run some shop that is having this, a brand, this figure. And so before we get to having that as a source of income, I really want to deliver this. So maybe I can just give my contacts.
Yeah, for sure.
So my cell phone number is 0712 988 150. 0712 988 150.
Awesome.
It's a personal line, not the company line. Yes, so someone can reach me on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let me tell you what I normally say for every story, even if it has impact on one person, that's enough.
That's enough. Actually.
That's enough.
Yes.
So your story has impact, and I can feel it. And I'm like, I wish we can stay here and talk about it forever. But I think we also need to get to the action, which is delivering what you're trying to do.
Sure.
And I'm so sure that, you know, what you planted, the seed that you planted, it will bloom into such a beautiful tree.
Awesome.
And it's already happening.
Thank you.
So I'm glad to be associated now that we have this. So I'm glad to be associated. And as much as I can help, I will help.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So thank you, Nancy, for being part of the show. Thank you for sharing your story. And I'm looking forward to what figure will be. And thank you for using your voice to make a difference, because not everyone does it. And sometimes we get that inner feeling and you're uncomfortable, but we just, let it go. So you're making a difference. You're making a difference in people's lives. So thank you so much for using your voice to make a difference.
And thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Stories and Conversations with Rahel is all about life, career, leadership, and healthcare, a topic I'm very passionate about. Thank you so much for watching. Share, like, comment, and subscribe for more.